On the night of June 12, 2026, software developers all over the country were using Anthropic's brand new AI model to write and test code. Suddenly, their screens froze. The systems crashed, an error message popped up, and within 10 seconds, the AI was completely gone. Just 3 days before this, Anthropic had launched Claude Fable 5 with a massive amount of hype, calling it a historic breakthrough. But following a sudden emergency order from the Trump administration, the government stepped in and shut the entire system down. Both Fable 5 and its unreleased sibling Mythos 5 were blacklisted and pulled offline. What happened here is one of the most embarrassing and expensive examples of corporate backfiring in the history of Silicon Valley. For months, Anthropic used a brilliant but terrifying marketing strategy. They claimed they had built an AI so powerful and so dangerous that it couldn't be safely released to the public. They wanted to create hype, scare their competitors, and pump up their upcoming IPO launch. But they made one giant mistake. The government actually believed them. Today, we're going to look behind the curtain at the secret meetings that panicked the Federal Reserve, the real math behind the model, and how Anthropic's hype marketing completely blew up in their faces. To understand how Anthropic trapped themselves, we have to look at the model that started it all, Claude Mythos 5. Earlier this year, Anthropic started a highly secretive project called Project Glasswing. They brought together a group of tech giants, including rivals like Google, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and CrowdStrike, and gave them early access to their unreleased model. The claims Anthropic made were mind-blowing. They told these partners that Mythos 5 was so advanced that it found thousands of critical security flaws in major operating systems and web browsers. They claimed it didn't just find the flaws, it could actually write plans to exploit them, essentially putting a digital superweapon in the hands of anyone with an internet connection. The panic went all the way to the top of the US government. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent reportedly called an urgent private meeting with Wall Street's top CEOs. They wanted the banks to stress test their networks immediately, fearing the AI could map and crash the financial system if it got into the wrong hands. This terrifying narrative made Anthropic the absolute talk of Wall Street. Suddenly, investors were valuing the company at a staggering $965 billion. But this is where the corporate hype meets the reality of business. You can't make money on a product you refuse to sell. So on June 9th, Anthropic launched Fable 5. They claimed they had taken the dangerous core of Mythos 5, put a digital straitjacket on it with safety filters, and made it perfectly safe for public use. They tried to have it both ways. They wanted the prestige of selling a super weapon, but the safety of a regular consumer tool. It lasted exactly 3 days. A group of outside security researchers found a ridiculously simple trick, a basic prompt bypass. By asking the model to read and fix specific code bases, they completely stripped the safety filters away. Fable 5 instantly turned back into the unrestricted, dangerous Mythos 5. The White House didn't hesitate. Under a recent executive order, the government demanded an immediate shutdown. Anthropic had to turn the system off globally because they couldn't verify the users' nationalities in real time. They'd spent months convincing the government that their AI was a threat to national security, and the moment a minor flaw was found, the government treated it like one. Now let's look past the corporate PR and focus on the actual science. Was Mythos 5 actually a dangerous digital weapon? When independent security experts like Gary McGrath actually looked at the data under the hood, they found a completely different story. The claim of finding thousands of zero-day vulnerabilities was a massive statistical exaggeration. Out of 7,000 software systems the AI tested, it found actual security bugs in 600 of them. And out of those, only 10 were actually severe. How did they get thousands? They had human experts manually check just 198 cases. When the humans agreed with the AI, Anthropic just multiplied that percentage across the entire unverified list to make it look huge. On top of that, the hacking tests Anthropic used to show off the AI were performed on incredibly weak targets. Things with simple setup errors and recycled passwords that a human student could easily break. Mythos wasn't a supernatural superintelligence. It was just a highly automated software tester wrapped in doomsday marketing. Why would a company deliberately make its own product sound dangerously scary? When you look at the timeline, the corporate strategy becomes obvious. On June 1st, Anthropic confidentially files to go public. On June 4th, Anthropic's co-founder Jack Clark publishes a warning saying AI is too dangerous and the whole industry needs to slow down. On June 5th, their main rival OpenAI files to go public. And on June 9th, Anthropic launches their most powerful model, Fable 5. This was hardly about safety. Anthropic's revenue run rate had exploded from $10 billion to $47 billion in a single year, and they are rushing to launch their IPO by October.
Anthropic is reportedly mulling the possibility of an IPO as soon as October, as it races OpenAI to go public.
By telling the government to freeze the industry while they held a temporary head start, they tried to use safety regulations to lock their competitors out of the market. They tried to pull up the ladder behind them before their competitors could catch up. While Wall Street was falling for this drama, actual software developers on the ground were running into a massive financial wall. Anthropic priced Fable 5 at double the cost of their previous model. Even worse, their new extended thinking feature meant every second the AI spent thinking was billed at premium rates. For users on their premium $200 a month plan, the experience was a disaster. Because Fable 5 consumed double the usage limits, heavy users ran out of their monthly allowance in less than a week. And when they ran out, Anthropic didn't give them a warning. They silently downgraded the users to the cheaper, lower quality Sonnet model without any notification. Users paid premium prices for cheaper outputs. The hype was in the news, but the disappointment was on the bill. The sudden shutdown of Claude 5 exposed the entire game. Anthropic tried to use doom marketing to cripple their rivals and secure a massive valuation. They even sued the Pentagon when they were called a supply chain risk, but they played themselves.
Anthropic is suing the Trump administration over the Pentagon's decision designating that artificial intelligence company as a, quote, supply chain risk, end quote. That designation came after Anthropic refused to allow unrestricted military use of its technology.
By constantly screaming that their AI was a threat to global security, they gave the government the perfect reason to ban it the second a minor bug was found. The lesson here is simple. The era of treating AI as a magical alien intelligence is over. These are highly advanced computer programs owned by massive companies trying to justify their stock prices. When a tech company tells you their product is too dangerous for you to have, don't buy the hype. Look behind the curtain, check the numbers, and remember, the only thing truly in danger is their stock price. I'm Balaji. I'll see you next time.